Okay, today I'm going to start with rolling the shoulders. And you know that sometimes that changes, but today it's shoulder rolls. And roll them back, come up and back, up and back, okay? And we're going to take our elbow and drive it back, okay? You guys were with me yesterday. You might feel a little bit of chest tightness or maybe a little bit of soreness. Pull that elbow back. Okay, let's extend those arms and then bring them back. Just like, almost like a backstroke, but I'm not going to rotate yet, okay? I'm not going to rotate too much. Okay, let's go the same time now. Bring those arms up and back. Okay, up and back. Okay, let's go the other way. Big armed. That's what they called it in swim lessons, right? Now you're going to see that rotation. Okay, you can speed it up if you want, but rotate. Pull it back, get that stretch in that bicep back there, and then bring it around. Okay, now we're going to take them at the same time. My palms are looking at you, and I bring them back and around. Now, when we get no rotation, you're going to lose that range of motion, but that's okay, because we are really trying to identify top of the chest and shoulders and biceps. Okay, let's go the other way now. This is the easier one. You go all the way up over the head and circle back. I'm trying to keep my palms up towards the ceiling the whole time. All right, let's swing them side to side. Just loosen them up. Just let momentum take it. Okay, I'm going to tip the screen a little bit so you can see what my fingers are doing. You can see all my boxes up there. So I'm going to interlock my fingers, bring them up over the head, and now we're going to go a little bit lower and stretch those ribs and that thoracic area. Okay, back to the center line, same side. Open it up. I am not breaking at the hip. That stays nice and lined up with my knees and my ankles. One more time. Other side now. Here we go. Now, if it bothers you to interlock those fingers, then release them and then just have your palms facing upward. But this helps pull and open up those ribs. Again, don't be shifting that hip yet. Oh, it feels really good. Okay, release those hands, bring them down. Now we're going to break at the waist. Go down through the toes, come back up. Interlock those fingers and a side bend on each side. Okay, back to the center. Other side, release those fingers, palms down towards the floor, break at the waist, go down for those feet, and then come back up. Okay, bring those arms back around and swing them, release all that tension in the shoulders. Okay, now let's interlock our fingers back here and keep it down low and just try to straighten out those elbows. Straighten those elbows, and we keep it in contact with our glutes, but now pull back and come forward, but don't go too far forward, okay? Open them up and come forward and release. Okay, back to the shift, side to side. Okay, now let's get our knees up, grab a hold of it and pull. Let's alternate. Makes it a lot easier for your balance. Okay, I'm just going to shift that down a little bit so you can see what's going on in my lower half. Up. Okay, if you're having trouble with your balance, just put yourself up against the wall. Okay, now do a little rotation, same side. Back and around. Here's a profile, so it's back and around. Okay, let's go two more. And the other side. Two more on the other side. Okay, so that was back and around. Now we're gonna go forward and back. Same side, forward and back. 2 more. Other side, forward, so that knee comes in front of you, and then swing it back. Stand tall, get out of that low back, chest high. Okay, let's put our feet wider than hip width. Bring those hands up. We're gonna interlock the fingers, a side bend. Now push that hip out. Be careful because we're putting a little bit of a load in that back. Push that hip back. Now we're getting it down into the hip. Push the hip. You see how I just shifted it? And then open up. Okay, that's exactly what we do when we go around. So you see how that shift, go around down towards the floor to the outside of that foot. Drag your fingers across and come all the way around. Shift. Put those hands towards the floor and come around. Let's go one more time. Okay, meet you at the top, and we're gonna go the other way. Shift, reach to the outside, drag those fingers and come around. Shift, and around. One more time. Okay, come on, down, palms down, down towards the floor. I'm gonna push my hips back, down, 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 reach for the floor. Hold that stretch, and then come on up, arms up. Side bend, center, side bend. Open up those hands, break at the hip, down towards the floor, hold that stretch. All right, we're coming up. Now we're gonna put our hands on our legs, slide them down. Come down. What we're trying to do is get a nice stretch in that inner thigh, groin area. Our hands are supporting our body, so we're not sitting all of our weight into those hips. We're just maybe 30 pounds of weight, maybe, as if I have a scale. Okay, come up off that stretch a little bit. Hold your weight into those quads. Now we're gonna rotate that shoulder towards the screen. Come back, alternate. This is a thoracic or mid-back stretch. You should feel that right along the back of your ribs, spine, shoulder blades. Okay, one more time. Feels so good. Last one. Okay, now round up that back, let go of those legs, and pull those shoulders back. About 3 more shoulder rolls. Okay, now I'm going to show you a side profile of this one. Our legs are still wider than hip width. We're going to come down. What we're going to do is open up. Okay, other side, we're going to alternate. Now to a front view. So you saw that soft bend in my knees, and then I'm opening up. Reach, open up that chest cavity in those ribs. If I let my hands swing, I'm taking it over and I'm stretching my back. So I caught myself cheating. So I want to keep this hand down here, open up, and then I identify the thoracic area, and my low back is stable. There's no twisting, okay? All right, put your hands back on your knees, round up like an angry cat, and then sink that belly towards the floor. Okay, and come on up. All right, we're gonna go into a good old-fashioned little star stretch. So my arms are out. I'm gonna go down and try to touch that foot, okay? Nothing wrong with going retro. We're alternating, okay? I don't want it to be too repetitive because we are in the back and hamstrings. Okay, I'm gonna go one more on each side. I started on this side. So whatever that count is. And bring those hands behind. I'm gonna break at the hip. And I'm gonna try to lift my hands away from my back. And I feel everything, but mainly I feel hamstrings and shoulders. Okay, release it. All right, I'm gonna bring the screen down a little bit. We're gonna start doing a little bit of stuff on the floor now and move into that core. So we're gonna go into inchworm. I need to put my hair back on this one. Can't wait for the hairstylist to come out. I need my haircut. Okay, we're gonna walk out. We're gonna go into what would be about a straight arm plank, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna shift our heels back. So yeah, you see my heels, I'm trying to drive them back towards the floor. This feels fabulous on the calf muscles, big gastrocs, Achilles. Push your hips up now. Drive your hips up. You're pushing your hands into the floor. If you feel like you're sliding, put your hands a little closer and try to drive those heels into the floor. Okay? If it's too much on the back of the knee, just soften the bend or soften that extension in the knee. Now, to modify this, you just have your hands on the edge of your counter, on a chair, on your bed. All right, break down. Now, we're on all fours. I'm gonna go this way. So now I'm on all fours and my knees are hovering. I'm not down on my hands and knees. Some of you can, but where I want you here, about 3 inches above, and I want you to sway. I want you to sway over the top of your hands so your shoulders get a little stability. Action. And now I'm into my quads if I lean back, okay? So we're just hovering over. Hold the tummy in. All right, bring those knees down into the child's pose. Flatten out your feet so the bottoms of your feet or the tops of your feet are on the mat. Hands are forward, shoulders width apart. All right, we're going up onto the hands and knees. We're going to do that thoracic rotation again, but we're going to isolate it even more. I'm going to face the screen so you can see that range of motion. I'm going to come up, and I'm going to alternate, okay? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sit back, do the child's pose. Again, hands are shoulders width. Let the head rest down to the floor. Come on up. Now that thoracic rotation, one more time, but we're gonna focus only on the thoracic, not on the shoulder. So I'm gonna put my hand on my opposite shoulder. I'm gonna go down and touch my wrist, and then I come up, okay? This doesn't feel like much of a stretch for some of you, but it's getting right in between the shoulder blades, and that's fine. And the other side, okay? Down and come up. You don't want to lose that mobility. That mid back is where people get that big hump, not big hump, big, but it's a little bit of a hump. It's very rigid. And that just helps keep that mobility in there. Okay, now we're gonna go back into curling in those toes. Pop your hips up. And that downward facing dog now. It's a little bit more like the downward because my hips are way up. I'm almost in a upside down V. I'm trying to get my heels down. And what I'm doing is I'm driving my hips upward towards the ceiling into the back of the room. Back down, let's hover. Now let's challenge ourselves. Let's try to straighten out that leg. And we are on 3 limbs. 2 hands and a foot. That knee is bent. And now we're gonna switch. Extend that leg, make it straight. Soft bend in those elbows so you're using those triceps and shoulders. Let's switch one more time. Squeeze that glute, extend that leg, and switch. We did some of these yesterday, put on our hands and knees. I'm feeling it today. Sit back, child's pose. All right, guys, I think we're ready for some abs. I don't feel like doing planks. I think they're kind of boring personally. So let's go into, you can see me, yeah, okay. Put my computer up higher so I can't see myself though. All right, so bring your knees into your chest. Just get the back to relax a little bit. Okay, so what we'll do is we're gonna start with a transition of straight leg crunch into our feet on the mat, up in the air and straight, okay? It's gonna be about a minute worth. I do have to lower this, I can't see if I'm still here or not, so that might help me. There we go, okay. So, legs are straight, cross them, suck it in, hip bone to hip bone, and you're just bringing that chin upward. So we're going to try to do a continuous number of abs through the next 5 minutes, okay? We build that endurance up. Okay, we're going to transition now with our feet. Just continue to come up, but our feet now are flat on the floor. Knees are bent. My hands are still behind my head. Just cradling the head. Do not look for the wall in front of you. Try to look up at the ceiling. Look for dust bunnies and spiders. Now, hold it up here, okay? Hold it, get those shoulders off the mat. Put your hands on your legs, slide them up as far as you can. Even if you want to like reach for one side and the other side, but just stay there, okay? Hold it. Feel the burn, feel the heat developing right there. A little bit of upper. Try to focus on the lower. It's the lazy side. All right, now as I'm going to bring my shoulders down, I'm going to lift my feet up. And now let those shoulders relax, let your neck relax, and just extend your legs in front of you at about a 45-degree angle from the floor. Keep the small of your back down. Guys, we're 2 minutes into it, so we got plenty of time to feel even more burn, yeah? Okay, now take them together. Let those shoulders come down. I'm going to give you a little bit of a rest. Now, take note. You see how close my knees are? I want to take them away and now come up. It's a harder reach. You need to modify, then bring them in closer. If you're not feeling it, if you're feeling it too much high, take those fingers and sort of poke at it. So you wake them up, don't let them be lazy. Okay, come on down. Now what I want you to do is push your legs away. Push them away and resist it, okay? As you can see, my arms are straight and I'm trying to drive my knees into my hands and I want to try, and so my back has popped up a little bit. So I'm going to try to push it in. Pelvic tilt, and drive that knee in. Drive them in, drive them in. Resist, and bring them down. 3 minutes, guys. That lasted forever for me. I gotta keep going. Okay, pedal those legs. Now we're gonna do a little rotation. Focus more on the obliques. So now we're gonna go opposite. Opposite. I hope you guys didn't catch me counting on my fingers. But I was. True confession. Up and over. Hang in there with me. Those last 2 minutes. We're almost there. There's just a minute left. Okay, take that bicycle elbow knee out. Now, your toes are on the mat. What you're going to do is your arms are out and they're hovering. Better yet, if you have that towel near you, hold on to the towel and hold it here. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna reverse crunch. Let the toes touch the mat. I'm pulling the band. You can pull your towel, pull your strap. If you don't have any of that, just hover those hands over your head. You're just changing the center of gravity. This is a reverse crunch. I like this one because I can keep the small of my back down a lot longer than if I extend it. But obviously that is harder. But we're going into our 5th minute. And bring those feet down. Nice. All right, bring those hips up. Offset all of what we just did right here. Focus in on the glutes and that low back. What we're gonna do is we're gonna tap our feet to work on those shins for hiking and running. Develop that range of motion. We lose it if we don't use it. Hate to use that phrase, but we don't necessarily exaggerate that, you know, that flexion. But relative to our feet on the floor and we lift, it's really important to acknowledge just how high you can go. Okay, break it down. Put those feet together, arms out to your side. A little window wiper action with our knees. This one always feels good. I don't know anyone who doesn't think that. But it feels awesome. No effort. If you wanted effort, you'd hold on to those abs as you pick those knees up. I feel like we've worked those abs. But we've got more. I got more up my sleeve. My sleeveless sleeve. Okay, hips up. Now bring that leg up. And back down. I find this one the easiest way to do it. A bridge. Picking that leg all the way up and extending it. It helps keep the hip level. We don't lose it. If we lower it, we have a tendency of lowering it. So just kick it up there. If anything, it primes you up for our hamstring stretch coming up soon. Feel that glute in that low back. That shift is great for functional training. All right, let's come on down. Roll those knees up into the chest. A little sway side to side. All right, so grab that towel. And don't think that we're stretching yet. We still got one more of these crunches, okay? And for a minute, we're gonna work on this one, okay? So I'm putting a lot of tension on that band, and I'm gonna bring my hands to my knees, and then my legs extend out. I'm gonna curl it up, okay? What this does is it activates those lats, and those ribs get an opportunity to get stronger, those little rib muscles, intercostals, and all of the abdominals. This is a double crunch. I'm gonna leave my head down so my neck has no part of this equation, no part of this exercise. Okay. Keep it going. Extend those legs. Keep that back as flat to the mat as possible. Keep going. I'm just checking my watch. And believe it or not, guys, that was a full minute and 5 seconds. All right. Put that down. We're going to stretch one knee, put one into the chest. The other one's going to straighten out. And we're going to point. See, I'm pointing my foot and I'm going to flex it. Okay, point and flex. And even your hand should feel that muscle, your anterior tib, firing away. Now, circle it. Okay, big circle. Okay, go the other way. Train the brain to figure that one out. Opposite way. We got a one-track mind. We usually just go the one way. All right, switch. Okay, bring that knee in. Point and flex. Point and flex. All right, ready for circles, big, full range of motion. And the other way. Other way, big circle. Perfect circle. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go, let me flip that ant out of the way. Okay, so what we're gonna do, what were we gonna do? Oh yeah, the ant lost my concentration here. So I'm gonna tuck my hands under my knees, okay? And I'm gonna try to straighten them out, okay? If you feel the load in your low back, then don't do it. You can back off and you can put your hands back here. But what I wanna do is get extension in the knees and feel those hamstrings bark. For me, all these stretch classes, I have to say my hamstrings, I don't even really feel it. Somebody back there in the back gallery who I cannot see is probably going, show off. I'm not showing off, I'm just thinking out loud. My inner monologue voice is coming out. Okay, let's focus on just one hamstring now, okay? I'm gonna use my new loop band. We're gonna put it on the ball of our foot because I am focusing on calves today, as you've noticed. And so I'm gonna pull downward on that angle there versus if it's on my arch, that's just all hamstring in the back of your knee. So let's get on the ball of your foot, bring those hands down so you don't stress out the neck or the shoulders. And then just like reins of a horse, you're just pulling down, okay? Flex, getting as much flexion in that foot, in that ankle. As you can see, my foot is up here. I have not laid it down, but I will now when I take it over to the opposite shoulder, okay? Now I'm gonna take that inside hand and I'm gonna rotate that foot, so now I get a nice little burn stretch on the outside, on those peroneals, okay? But still pulled downwards, so this is all in this area, okay? And I'm lined up to the opposite shoulder. Take deep breaths through this one. It really helps identify exactly where I want you to feel it. Okay, let's take that off and move, take off that pressure, move that band onto the arch, okay? And feel a nice stretch in the hamstring. Now let's think about what that other leg is doing. Mine likes to bend and lay out. Try not to do that. If it does, then put it in a position where the foot can sit still, okay? But don't be letting it wander, okay, like a preschooler on an online course. Keep it focused on the fact that we want to stretch the leg that's hooked up to the band or the towel. Bring those hands down. Get all excited. Soft bend in the knee now. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a movement. So we're going to bend it and then straighten it out. Try to resist a little bit. Okay. Now let's bring that leg down. Try to keep that toe up towards the ceiling. We're going to bring it over, over, over. It's going to hover about 18 inches off the floor. If this is too much of a stretch, you can lower it, but find that place where that leg is going to go. It could be higher or it can be lower. And what you're trying to feel is your IT band up high. Some of you will feel it lower. Try to keep that leg straight. All right, now it's time to bend it and just let it rest to the other side, okay? My other hand is on the floor. For me, I get a few little pops and crackles in that low back. All right, let's go the other side. Other foot. On the ball of the foot. Here we go. That leg should feel a little lighter. All right. pull those reins, the towel, belt, whatever you want to call this, strap, and get that toe towards the knee. There's always going to be a side a little tighter. I found it. I'm going to bend this knee. All right, let's move it to the opposite side of the shoulders. Hug this inside. You see how I just rotated it? And then pull and get that really, really nice deep stretch into those peroneals outside of that lower leg. Deep breath through there, through that. Breathe through the nose. Okay, now move it down to the arch. Let's focus all on the hamstring, okay? All right, bring that leg down unless it's gonna turn out. If it's gonna stay up, then keep it there and pull. Same side foot as the same side shoulder. Don't cross over yet. If you rotate that ankle, that just kind of moves that stretch a little bit around. Bend it and pull and extend. Bend it and extend. You won't be sore from just that static stretch. Okay, back off that little bit. Go the opposite shoulder just for a brief moment. Back off that stretch and bring it over to the other side, about 18 inches off the floor. And again, line it up at the waist high or lower. All right, bend that knee and let it rest. And let that arm extend. The other side, just to try to keep that shoulder down. All right, we're going to bring it back. Now we're going to work on a little bit of the groin. So we're going to start here. We'll multitask. So we're just letting those hips open up. I'm trying to get those knees. I'm not going to say to the floor. It's virtually impossible unless you have somebody push down and you can scream bloody murder. All right, interlock your fingers as we're letting that stretch. Extend those arms over the head. Let it touch behind you. If it's too much of a stretch on that shoulder, then just above. Deep belly breath through the nose. Exhale either out the back of your throat or out the mouth. Arms come down. Take them to the top of your legs. Put a little pressure on your legs to get more of a deeper stretch. All right, now bring them up. So lift your feet up and reach for the inside of your ankles. And I'm using my elbows to push my knees apart. You can hold on to your feet if you can reach. Otherwise, just hold on to your legs. You can take that towel or the loop and you can hold on this way. And that sometimes helps you relax those legs a little bit better, or even your neck for that matter. Okay. Now, try to extend them out. One last stretch down that inner thigh. Bring them back together. Legs are straight. You're interlocking your fingers. Your arms are over your head. Long, long stretch. Gain about 1 inch of height if you can by opening up those ribs off your hips. Provide a little more space in there. Arms down like a snow angel. So we're going to do a few snow angels. And one more. Okay, so now you can either have your feet on the mat with your knees bent, but we're going to do a few little chin tucks not to accentuate my double chin or anyone's double chin, but to open up some space in that cervical spine. So just like a pelvic tilt, where we press the small of our back down, this is a cervical tilt where we're trying to bring the back of your neck a little closer to the mat. It shouldn't touch. You can put your hand back there, or both hands, and have a place for your neck to push into. But all I'm doing is I'm keeping my head in contact with the mat, and I'm opening up, and then I'm closing off that space. Okay? Cervical tilt. For some of you, this is not a stretch, and it's just a very good exercise to do to recognize or to isolate that movement. Okay, hold it to that double chin point, and now push your head into the mat and relax. Interlock your fingers behind your head and lift your head up and get a stretch down into the traps and in between your shoulder blades. If you want, you can let your legs go straight and then just tuck that chin in, look at your toes. Bring it down. You're going to turn your head to the side. You can put your hand on your cheek and give it a little bit of pressure, maybe a half a pound of pressure. And the other side. All right, guys, we are going to go into stretching out those hips. So we're going to roll to the side and make your way up. I'm going to do, I will face the camera so you can see a little bit more. But before I do that, let's stretch out that low back. I had a ponytail holder. Hey, Sean, look at the screen. He gave me that at the studio. I think it was Christmas. I still have it. Now, how many of you keep the same ponytail for more than a month? I would like to know that answer. Okay, I am on my belly. And so my legs or my feet are pointed, or the tops of my feet are on the floor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch out the muscles along the spine. I'm not going to stretch out the vertebrae. Okay, there's a big difference. If I wanted to like arch my back, I just press up. Okay, but if I want to stretch the muscles while doing it, I've got to tighten up my abdominals right at the hip bone. Okay, right across, like is right along the bikini line. Squeeze my glutes. Now I'm going to lift up. If you go up too fast in your way up here, you're just stretching that sacrum where sacrum meets L5. What I want you to do is squeeze so you get all of these muscles as a part of it too, okay? And come on down. What I want you to do is just bring your heels as close as you can to your glutes and alternate bending it, okay? Now, keep one up, grab that foot, and get a nice stretch in the quad. Switch. Oh, I could stretch my quads all day. Some of you can probably stretch your hamstrings. For me, it's my quads. All right, we're going to go into that child's pose, but in a different position for our hands, okay? Now, for some people, I realize if you have a block or a big towel, this is what you could sit on back here, okay? So it goes right in between. If you can't get into that child's pose, so it could go higher, and then you can focus on stretching out that back and in your shoulders. So if you can prop up either a big blanket or a couple of these blocks, that's what those are for. So Child's pose, or the hand position I want you to have is it's over to the side, okay? This hand is in front, and I'm gonna drag it as I sit. And what that's gonna do is get a little bit more of a focus on my lats and not just the low back or sitting into my knees. Okay, let's go do it again. So reach forward and drag that hand, drag it, and have a seat into those feet. Okay, let's go to the other side. Drag that hand, open up those ribs, those lats under the arm. Tuck that head into your inside of your arm. All right, now we're gonna go into that runner stretch. Do this a little bit, it's a little more cushy on my knees. All right, I leave my knee down on a runner stretch. And so it is down. If you want it up, you can do that as well. And you're just sitting, you're putting all your weight into those hips. But if you want to provide a little less of that weight, then put that knee down. And what I'm doing is I'm pressing my hips towards the screen. Okay, now I'm gonna put both hands to the inside and I'm gonna open up that hip. Eyes go down towards the floor. Put your hand on that foot if you can, and then open that up, okay? All right, we're gonna back up. I'm gonna back up, and we're gonna straighten out that front leg. My toe goes down. Oh boy. Stretch. Holy Toledo. Oh yeah, let's do it one more time. Pop that knee out. This obviously can be done on a stool, on the chair. I'm sorry I didn't say that earlier. Okay, one more time. I'm gonna push that toe down, get a nice stretch into my shin. And my hamstring, of course. Okay, let's go to the other side. Again, you can put that hip up for this part of the stretch. And you can come up into it like that as well. More of an aggressive stretch, but if you put your knee down and just focus on letting that hip relax and going forward into the mat. Okay, here we go. Hands down to the inside. And pop that knee out, that foot down. And nice deep stretch in that inner thigh, hip flexors. Some people can drop in, get into their elbows, and that's quite a stretch for sure. Okay, come off that stretch, keep the toe down. If you bring it up, it's just focusing mostly on the hamstring, which is fine, but what I like is it's really hard to stretch the top of your lower leg. That anterior tib is the muscle. Not that you're going to be tested on it, but it's the only way I know how to call it other than a shin. Pop that hip out again. One more time. Hopefully you see a difference from the first attempt. Okay, one more time. Straighten out that front leg. Put that toe down. All right, polish or finish that off with the child's pose. Yes. Put that head down. Your hands are in front of you. Okay, we are going to curl our toes under. We're going to pop ourselves up into that stand position. Walk your hands towards your feet, round your back, bring yourself up into a stand, pulling those shoulders back. We do a few more stretches. Don't give up on me yet. All right, so let's leave our legs alone. Let's think about our arms now. Roll the shoulders and bring them up over the head. Drop one hand to the opposite shoulder. Grab a hold of that elbow and pull. So with this stretch, my feet are close together, and I'm going to open up into the side bend. So I've got from the elbow all the way down into the ribs and into the side, into those obliques. Okay, let's go the other arm, okay? There, that hand on that elbow, open up. We are almost done. Okay, come back. Now, we're gonna look at a little bit of a lumbar stretch, okay? For those facet joints. So my hands are down on at my sides. My shoulders are level. I've got my chin tucked, so my ears are lined up with my shoulders. So I'm hopefully, or for the most part, I'm in neutral, and hopefully you are too. Neutral position. So I'm gonna slide my hands down, and I'm opening up the space in that lumbar, which is that low back. I'm staying on one side. Okay, don't alternate on something like this. One more time. It's a very subtle movement that makes most 90% of backs happy, where we get a little limited motion. Okay, there we go. Now, hands come up, pull those fingers. Other side. Okay, palms towards the screen and drop them up and down. Okay, before we just stretch the neck, I want to do one last stretch of the quads. Hold on to something, grab and pull, okay? So what the goal is try to get that heel into the glute. I don't want this. This is not the way to do it. I want that knee to line up with the other knee. It looks like you have just that one leg, right? You could wrap that up and look like you've lost your low leg. But the point is that hip is flush, just like the other one, okay? We don't break. All right, other side. Grab, hold on to it, and right where my hand is, that should stay equal to the other, and you get a stretch from over the knee up into the hip flexor. All right, you can sit down for this one or you can stay standing. I just like to get a little closer to the screen. We're gonna stretch our neck out and then we're done. So we're gonna turn and drop our chin into our chest. Our eyes are to the floor, and these hands both are down. You can hold on under, or you can put them behind your head. Okay, come off that stretch. Same side, this ear goes to the shoulder. Let the shoulders relax, or sit on your hands if you have to. Back to the center, okay? Now we're gonna turn this way. So we just did 3 different stretches for that same side. So let's go over it again. So it's not all the way chin to the shoulder, it's right in between. It's right where that clavicle is, and we drop. Okay, now ear to shoulder, and turn as far as you can to the right. Okay, now we're gonna do the same, the other side. So here, tuck that chin in. Now ear to shoulder. Okay, now turn as far as you can to the right. One more time. Turn, drop that chin. ear to shoulder. And turn as far as you can to the right, to the left, sorry. And back to the center. Hold the tummy muscles tight right here, as if somebody just tied really tight a belt around the ribs where ribs meet your diaphragm. Hold it tight and just let those shoulders get nice and loose, okay? Your ears are lined up with your shoulders, and hopefully this whole area is nice and relaxed, okay? With that, we are done for the day.